With the Dow closing in on an all-time high, how should you play the rally? Scott Wren is Senior Equity Strategist at Wells Fargo Advisors, and he joins us now. Mr. Wren, welcome. Good to have you with us.
How are you, Tyler?
I am terrific, thank you. You know, Warren Buffett says he still sees value in equities today. Do you? And if so, where?
Well, you know, stocks are below, if you look at a PE basis, they're below the historical average. They certainly aren't as cheap as they were a couple of years ago. But for our clients, what we want them investing in are things that are still sensitive to the recovery here in the States, the recovery globally, sector-wise, the consumer discretionary sector. You know, even something like home improvement retail inside of that sector. It's ran a lot. It's ran pretty hard, but it still looks good in our work. I think it has more upside. Things like materials, diversified chemicals in there. Also technology, IT consulting and services, that particular industry group. So I think there's a lot of choices out there, Tyler, that are sensitive to the economy, not only here in the States, but internationally. They're not overvalued. And, you know, certainly the Fed having the markets back, or at least that's what I would term it, doesn't hurt either.
But you know, Scott, here we've got the sequester today. We have a lot of worries about what's going to happen in the job market, and the market is rallying. I mean, what's driving this rally?
Well, Susie, really, if you look at the sequester amount, $1.2 trillion over 10 years, the CBO says, you know, already legislated, we're going to spend about $45 trillion over the next 10 years. So really, you know, 1.2, in my opinion, is a really small amount. I think the market knows that. I think while it is going to create some headwinds, maybe you see a couple of tenths% GDP or something like that, that's a headwind, but it's not going to stop the economy. I think we'll see about 2.5% growth this year. So really, the market's been able to shrug that off. I think the market's pretty convinced that really we're not probably going to see many cuts to entitlements, many cuts to spending. You can easily make the argument that down the road that's going to be trouble, but for the next 12 to 24 months, I think the market's likely to do okay.
Quick final question, Scott. Are you worried at all about the pace of consumer spending with the expiration of the payroll tax cut? That's number one. And number two, are you seeing any areas that you think are highly overvalued today?
Well, you know, I think what I want to do is stay away from the defensives. You know, really, we've had a good rally so far this year, but, you know, healthcare and staples have led the way, and I don't think that's going to hold. So, you know, those two sectors are defensive. I don't think they're going to hold up through the course of the whole year. But consumer spending, you know, confidence is way up. Housing prices are rising. Consumer spending has surprised me, and I think it's going to continue to surprise the market as we move through the year. I think it's going to be up. It's not going to surge, but it's going to be enough to put the economy into that modest growth kind of territory.
Scott Wren, thank you very much.